Did you know that in SpongeBob, Steven Hillenburg, the creator of SpongeBob, wanted to call the show SpongeBob, but the name changed to SpongeBob because a mop product was already using that name. Did you know that in Big Hero 6, Stan Lee did a cameo as Fred's dad?
You know, it's a funny thing. When I was a kid, Walt Disney was like my god. And to think that I'm now part of a Disney animated feature, I just can't tell you how pleased I am.
Did you know that in Moana, Maui's visual appearance is partly modeled on Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's grandfather, Peter Maivia, a Samoan-American professional wrestler who died in 1982? Did you know that in Mulan, only the first half of the film has songs? Once the characters find the village destroyed, Disney avoided songs for a darker tone. Did you know that in Toy Story, the main villain of Toy Story 1, which is a boy named Sid, becomes a garbage man years later in Toy Story 3? As you can see, he's wearing the exact iconic shirt which he wore in Toy Story 1. Did you know that in Coco, the name of the animation was changed in Brazil because in Brazil Coco means spoon. So Pixar tweaked the name, which translates to cheers, life is a party. Did you know that in Robots, in this scene, if you look closely, Sid from Ice Age makes a cameo appearance?
NANI?!
Did you know that in Ratatouille, the dish that was made by Remy at the end of the show was actually designed by famous chef Thomas Keller? It's a real recipe and it takes at least 4 hours to make. Did you know that in Hercules, in this scene the headpiece worn by Hercules is actually Scar from Lion King?
You can't give up now, I'm counting on you.
You missed this in Monsters University. In the first movie, Randall says to Mike,
"Shh, shh, shh, shh. Do you hear that? It's the winds of change."
Turns out this quote was on a poster in Mike and Randall's room. The reason Randall became a villain in Monsters Inc., despite being a nice guy in Monsters University, is because he was so desperate to make some friends.
I'm finally in with the cool kids, Mike.
And he did anything to become friends with these jerks. When he lost at the end, he lost all of his fake friends.
That's the last time I lose to you, Sullivan.
Did you know that in Monsters University, the monsters who were created by Disney and Pixar have the average of 3.7 eyes per character in campus? Did you know that in WALL-E, Wally's eyes are modeled after a pair of binoculars? Director Andrew Stanton got the idea in a baseball game and he was so fascinated that he missed the entire game. You missed this in Coraline. Have you ever wondered why Mr. Bobinski's body is blue? Turns out it's because of the radiation in the 1986 Chernobyl disaster. Did you know that in The Lion King, the name of the movie was supposed to be The King of the Jungle, but it changed when someone realized that lions don't actually live in jungles? You missed this in Soul. When Joe Gardner goes to the subway, we can see that the number of the train is 2319, the same code in Monsters Inc.
George and I are like brothers. 2319! We have a 2319!
Did you know that in The Lion King, the voices of Timon and Pumbaa both auditioned to play hyenas at first, but because they were hilarious on set, the directors gave them the positive role? You missed this in Zootopia. When Nick explains that they have 10 hours left, he holds up all his fingers. Foxes, of course, don't have 10 fingers, they only have 8.
Technically, we still have 10 left to find our Mr. Otterton.
Did you know that in Attack on Titan, the reason why Levi drinks tea in a weird way is because when he lived in the underground, he bought himself a cup of black tea after saving a lot of money. However, as soon as he held the cup, the handle broke and the tea fell all over the floor. After that, Levi stopped using cup handles and started holding the cup from the top instead. This is one of the facts that is confirmed by Hajime Isayama. You missed this in Toy Story 1. In this scene, if you look at the clock, the time is 12:05. As you know, the shadows at noon are supposed to be under you, but if you look at the shadows, they're a little bit off. And it seems like the time is supposed to be 4 or 5 o'clock based on the shadows. Either this was a mistake by Pixar, or Pixar was trying to say to Disney that they are behind in time with those drawn animations. Did you know that in Luca, all the kid noises are recorded directly in the streets of Italy when boys and girls are playing? You missed this in Finding Nemo. When Nemo goes crazy and decides to go on the edge, if you look at the human's camera, you will see the famous A113. If you don't know what it is, it's an Easter egg that you'll see in almost all of Pixar's animations.